Good afternoon, my friends. Mr. Bautista coming at you from the city of Richmond. This is the third video out of three where I explain how to complete week 5, day 3 mapping assignment. Now, as always, I go to our Google Classroom folder. For this video, in this example, I'm going to use the first period social studies Google Classroom folder. Now, all of you, periods 1, 2, 3, and 4, have this information on your stream section. Now, as a reminder, scroll down, and there's information on how to find your interactive notebook. That's in video number 1. If you want to learn how to find your interactive notebook inside your Google Drive, please watch this video. In the second video, I discussed how to complete the assignments for week 4 found inside our interactive notebook. I explained the directions and how to complete the assignments. And I've also uploaded the work that I've done as a model or example for you to follow. In this third video, I am going to discuss week 3, day 5, mapping. I'm going to click on the map and you will see my examples. Now, if you read the instructions I provided, you'll see the 2 stars, and then for support, take a look at the places that shape us map. We worked on that map last week for week 5. Study the map. Which neighborhood do your classmates mostly live? How does your identity connect to where you live? How is your identity connected to where your family are from? These are guiding questions, questions to keep in mind as you study the map. Now, if you're wondering, how do I get to the map? Again, in our Google Classroom folder, we're going to move from stream to classwork. We're going to go to week 5, and we're going to look for the assignment titled The Places That Shape Us. We click on it, and you click on the map. It takes a moment, but it does pop up, and what you'll notice are, look at all of the pins that your classmates have posted on the map. Now, taking a look at the assignment, you're going to see some questions. Let's take a look at the top half of our assignment. Now, a lot of people in our class live in or by, okay. A lot of people in our class have ancestors from, and then I saw someone drop a pin on, and I want to know more about it because. Now, I went ahead and studied the map already, and I was able to type in the responses. This is what I did to obtain this information for my responses. I went to the map. I focused on the first part about where my classmates live, and then I zoomed in. And this is what's really cool about this map. You keep zooming in, and the picture gets wider and wider. And you take a look, and you see there's a lot of pins here in San Francisco. We're going to keep focusing and keep hitting the plus button. And then I'll give it one more tap. And then you begin to see where people mostly live. Now you can see the pins. A lot of people live in the Portola district right here. There's a lot of people that live in Portola and in Ingleside. So looking at this information, I'm going back up to my slide. A lot of people in our class live, and I put Portola, because I studied the map and noticed that my classmates live in Portola, or you can also choose to type in Ingleside. It's up to you. Now the second part, a lot of people in our class have ancestors from. So what I'm going to do for this section is I'm going to expand. I'm going to widen out the map, and I'm going to take a look at where in the world people's ancestors are from, their grandma, grandpa, family members. And I'm going to keep expanding to get a wider view of the world map. You begin to see a bigger picture, and then you can move from right to left. Now, what I'm noticing is that many people come from the continent of Asia here. Look at all these pins where family members are from. So I'm going to go back up to our map. A lot of people in our class have ancestors from, I put China, but you can put from the Asian continent or from Asia. Now, this is the example for first period. It could be that in second period, third period, or fourth period, people's ancestors may come from other parts of the world. So depending on your class period, it might just be that a lot of people from your class have ancestors from other places in the world. I'm going to zoom out a bit. Now, this next part, I saw someone drop a pin on, and I want to know more about it because now I studied the map and I noticed that someone's family is from South Korea and also from Argentina. And so what I did was I saw someone drop a pin on both South Korea and Argentina. And I want to know more about it because that is where their ancestors are from. I want to know if this person has ever traveled to these two countries. So this is about you thinking about the map, what you saw someone pin, and then what do you want to know more about and why? What is it that you want to learn more about them and why? Now let's scroll down to the second half. These are reflection questions. Now think about this. How is my identity connected to where my family is from? Now, my family come from Mexico. All of my family, every single one of them, or at least my ancestors, my mother, my father, my grandma, my grandpa, all of my aunts and uncles were born in Mexico. That's a big part of my identity. So how is my identity connected to where my family is from? This is my example. My family is from Mexico, and this impacts my identity because it led me to learn how to speak, read, and write in Spanish. Also, it allowed me to live in two different worlds, as I have family in both the United States, my sister, my nieces and nephew, my mom and dad, and Mexico. I have a lot of family in Mexico. So my identity, it's connected to where my family is from, Mexico. Number two, how is my identity connected to where I live right now? As you all know, I live in the city of Richmond. I live in the East Bay. I live in Richmond. This impacts my identity because it has made me become a lover of hiking, bird watching, and playing music. In Richmond, there's more space. I'm close to the water. When I lived in San Francisco, space was tight, and I did not live anywhere near the water. I lived in the middle of San Francisco. But because of where I live right now in Richmond, there's a lot more space. Houses are more spread out. And I live closer to the water. So my life changed. I now go on long hikes along the water. I now bird watch. And I have so much time on my hand and there's more space. I can actually sit and play my guitar without bothering anyone around me. That is how my identity is connected to where I live. Number 3, what are the stereotypes that exist about where my family is from? My friends, again, my family is from Mexico. Take a look at my example. My family is from Mexico, and a stereotype about this place is that it is dirty and dangerous with bad hombres. It makes me feel sad because Mexico is a beautiful country, rich in diversity of people, in culture, and history. Now remember, a stereotype is a negative word or phrase or idea about a group of people or a person. And that's not necessarily true. So I grew up with the stereotype of people telling me that Mexico's dirty, ugly, not safe. But I've been there so many times. My family is from there, that I've learned that that is a stereotype. It's not true. It's a beautiful place. And number 4, what are the stereotypes that exist about the neighborhood I live in? Again, I live in Richmond. I live in Richmond. A stereotype about this place is that there are lots of gangs and crime. It makes me feel mad because it is not true. Also, the people of Richmond are hardworking people. My friends, that is how to complete the 3rd slide of week 5, titled Week 5, Day 3, Mapping. The first half requires you to study the map that we worked on, titled The Places That Shape Us. And then the second half are reflection questions where you think about your identity, about where your family is from, and how your identity is connected to the neighborhood you live in. And then finally, stereotypes that exist from where your family is from, and then stereotypes that exist in the neighborhood that you live in. Again, this assignment, it takes a bit of time. Reflection means you take your time to think. And then, using your thoughts, turn them into sentences. Write your responses. Again, do not worry about the assignment being late. Instead, take your time with these questions. Think about them. And then come up with the response and type them in. If you still do not understand, that's okay. Ask questions. Ask your family questions. And then ask me questions so that I can help you with this assignment. All right, my friends, that's the 3rd video explaining how to complete the 3 slides for week 5. Thank you.